Then the situation started turning into a catastrophe. Of course, nobody was going to die that night. But can you imagine you have been waiting for the new year for 12 months and then end up in a forest with instant noodles and an unhappy 10-year-old girl? That is quite tough, just believe me.
Hi, you're listening to Finnmark Forteller podcast. My name is Evgenii Goman, and Finnmark Forteller is a storytelling event that is held by curatorial collective Pikene på Broen in the small town of Kirkenes, which is a part of Finnmark County, the eastern and northernmost county in Norway. In this podcast, you will hear different people telling their personal stories in English or Norwegian. This is a story by creative producer Irina Ivanova. You will hear her story about assumptions, a pack of noodles, and New Year magic.
So, on the 31st of December 2017, me, my 10-year-old daughter, husband and 7 or 8 friends jumped to our cars and headed Kirkenes. We couldn't wait to meet the new year, an amazing new year, here in Øvre Pacific camping, and then on the 2nd of January to continue to Inari. Actually, I am from Murmansk, and I should explain probably to those who might not know that in my hometown, the biggest holiday during the whole year is the New Year. People start waiting for the New Year already on the 10th of January, you know? Kids come back to school and they start missing it, and adults have to come back to work after 10 years of New Year days off, needing some additional rest, and that is the time when people start expecting the next New Year. New Year is the time of magic, and we start our celebrations already on the 25th of December. We know it's not an Orthodox Christmas, but who cares? And then His Majesty New Year comes. And then we have Orthodox Christmas on the 7th of January. And finally, it might seem or sound weird, but it is like that. We have the Old New Year on the 13th of January. That's the New Year according to the Gregorian style calendar. So, 31st of December, we are moving towards the border. We have 3 or 4 cars, and everything seems to be great. We have several liters of beer, some bottles of strong alcohol, and of course, some packs of instant noodles. That's it. But we have a plan. We think that we can buy, it's not allowed to take meat or sausages across the border, so we thought, okay, we can come and buy everything in Kirkenes on our arrival. We crossed the border without any adventures. And then we came to Kivi in Helsing. But of course, we couldn't expect that it was closed. We checked some other shops around, and you know what? All of them were closed. But we didn't worry a lot. We didn't hang our heads. We thought that, okay, there are petrol stations. We probably could check petrol stations because they should have sausages or probably some burger cutlets. And then we stopped, so we went to the petrol stations at the crossroad to Pacific, and we found their sausages, but we thought it was too expensive for us. Oh, New Year adventures started. We were in quite good mood, and the only one person who seemed to be a little bit concerned was my 10-year-old daughter. Probably she was not inspired by the possibility to have instant noodles as the main and the only one New Year dish at the table. So she carefully tried to lobby the idea of buying the sausages at the petrol station. But we thought we were smarter. We were adults, and we were the ones who decided. So Advent calendar helped me to improve the mood of my daughter a little bit. And then the idea came that probably we could buy sausages in a cafe in Øvre Pacific camping. It's New Year, God damn it. And here I should give you one detail. Frankly speaking, it was not my first time in that camping. exactly the year before, we had spent the New Year Eve there with my family. And I should have known that the idea to buy sausages in a cafe in Övre Pacific Camping was dead from the very beginning, simply because there is no cafe in Övre Pacific Camping. Later, I tried to understand what was in my head and why actually it was me who articulated this idea, like, oh, let's check the cafe. So I can't find another explanation except that the New Year magic happened. Probably I thought that, okay, the whole year had passed and maybe they could have built a cafe. Or probably I thought, okay, we spent there one night, maybe I didn't notice a cafe, that was too dark. But the decision was taken, so we decided to continue. At about 9 p.m., maybe a bit later, we finally came to our destination. The hosts met us, and that was a very nice couple in their 50s, a husband and wife. And they were very nice and welcoming, and they showed us the houses. And when we took our bags from the cars to the houses, we decided now it's time to ask the question that was very important for us. And probably it was the most important for my 10-year-old daughter. You know, adults can run by whiskey for some time. But kids, they can run by Advent calendar, but not that long. So, is there a cafe where we could buy some sausages or meat? I asked the lady. She looked at me with disguised surprise and said, no. Maybe a shop I didn't want to give up. But they are closed, was the answer. So we had a situation. Then the hosts asked, do you have any food with you? And we showed our emergency stock of instant noodles and the leftovers of the Advent calendar. They looked at our treasures and left. Then the situation started turning into a catastrophe. Of course, nobody was going to die that night. But can you imagine you have been waiting for the new year for 12 months and then end up in a forest with instant noodles and an unhappy 10-year-old girl? That is quite tough, just believe me. We were unpacking and tried to cheer each other up. We're going to make fun. We have candles and Bengal lights. I tried to comfort my daughter. But even the adults started looking a bit concerned and worried. And then we saw the lights just outside our houses. And when we went out, we saw that the hosts came back and they had the bag with them. And when they opened the bag, I almost started crying because it was full of some of the packings with sausages, some bacon, some meat, and a lot of other delicious stuff. And you know, that was actually the New Year magic because each package was opened. They came back to their house, checked their fridge, found what they could give to us, and then came to some of the neighbors and asked if they had something to share with us. And the next day, they made an amazing bouillon, reindeer bouillon. So that was a huge bowl of soup. And I think it was the tastiest soup I have ever tried. So we had fun. We were singing songs and dancing around the Christmas tree. We gave presents and got presents. We were together and we could really feel this magic of the new year. This story didn't teach me to do a thorough research and to prepare trips, especially if I travel with my child, because I had a lot of stories after that, a lot of adventures. But what this story taught me is that togetherness is something that really matters. And to be with your family and with your friends is a privilege, I would say, and is a blessing. And we should value each moment that we spend together. And also it showed that the New Year magic really exists, but it's done by the humans. And it can have different forms. Sometimes you can find it in the pack of opened sausages or in a big bowl of hot soup. Merry Christmas, guys!
If you like the story, please subscribe to Finnmark Forteller and share it with your friends, just like the storytellers share it with you.